Hello and welcome. In this lecture, we're going to be implementing a level design for our obstacle assault course. You can see here I've added in some more islands and a little victory end zone at the end. We're going to talk about my process for doing this and getting out some pen and paper and making our own level designs. Let's dive in and get started. So let's try and spend a moment to design a level out of the different components we've got here. Here's my approach. I'm going to start with what kind of permutations and options of obstacle do I have? So what elements can I play with to design this level? We've got rotating versus moving. That's one of the key elements we could fiddle with. We got up or down or left and right. So you could have platforms that transport you across a gap. You could have up and down to take you up a level like we've already shown. We've got the pushing / transporting option. So platforms can be used to push you off of something, so they can be an obstacle to avoid, or they can transport you, in which case they're an obstacle that you want to get on. So those are some of the options that we've got available here. Let's have a look, in this case, at a simple linear course through our obstacle assault course, where basically the whole objective is just to get from the start to the end, and there aren't any kind of diversions. You can't take a shortcut. You can't take an option B path. So what I suggest you do is you take this and you take a sheet of paper and you get away from your computer for a little bit and just brainstorm a few different designs. I recommend that you try fitting the design on one sheet of paper so that you just limit the scope, because it's very easy to get carried away with all the amazing things that you could do and just take on a little bit too much. So we're going to try and limit the scope to just one sheet. In my case, it was a sheet of A5. You can have a sheet of A4 if you want to. Here's the example of what I've come up with, really very quick and dirty, just to give me an idea of what I want. And this is just going to be something that I can adapt later on. And you can see it's incorporating some elements of the design that we've already got. We've got the up and down platforms that take us up to a second level. We've got the pushers going backwards and forwards. We've got these rotating platforms that we need to get across. Then I thought maybe it would be nice to have the idea of a sweeper. So something like a pusher where it rotates around and tries to sweep us off the platform. Something like that, and then we'll have some goal at the end, maybe something to reach that looks cool and makes it clear that we've got to the end of the obstacle course. So that's my idea, and I'd like to challenge you to make your own level design too. So limit yourself to one sheet of paper, as I said. Share your results once you're done. Choose the design you like the best and share it in the discussions before you go and implement it, and then try and implement it for yourself. We've seen how we can make different blueprints for different elements, so you might have a few more elements that you've incorporated in your design, so you can go ahead and make a few more blueprints and put them in the world. So let your design adapt as you play it as well. Once you've written it on paper, you don't have to stick to it. It's not a rule, it's just an idea to get you started. So pause the video and have a go. Okay, welcome back. So the bit that I wanted to add on top of this level design that we've already got is perhaps we'll add a second platform in here, and we'll rotate it around so that it doesn't look the same and lift it up just another level. So this is what I mean. I'm already adapting the design because I've noticed that I don't have any more space on this platform to put a pusher in there. And then there are some stairs down here. I kind of like those, so I'm going to take a copy of this ramp and try and paste it down here. I want to actually move it up to the platform somehow. So what I might do is take the location of one of these rotating platforms and copy it, and click on the ramp that I've duplicated and paste the location so that it comes up here. Excellent. And now I'm going to try and position this ramp so that it takes us up to the next platform. So I'm going to have to adjust the height of the platform and adjust its position somewhat as well, so that it takes us nicely up there. So this is where using the play from here, it comes in really handy. If we right click on just after we've gone past our rotating platforms, click play from here and see if we can get up these stairs. Looks like we can't for some reason. I think the angle of these stairs is a little bit too steep. So how can we fix that? Well, I can go over to the third person character and I can click on its movement component, and here there's a bunch of properties about how this character walks. And you can see one of them is the walkable floor angle, and it's set to 44 degrees. So it looks like we've got a bit of a steeper set of stairs. So I'm just going to set this to 60 degrees to make sure we can make our way up it. Then we're going to play from here again and see if we can get up there. Yep, sure enough, we can go up those stairs now that they're a little bit wider. Now, the platform's a little bit down, so I'm going to adjust that. And then I'm going to try and make a sweeper. So we're going to go to our C++ class. We're going to right-click on it and create a blueprint class. And I'm going to call it the BP_sweeper. I'm going to put it in the root of content. Then with that open, I'm going to go to our content drawer and search for, well, I quite like the look of these archways. If they were rotating, we'd have to kind of get inside of them and then move on without getting hit by them, which might be kind of interesting. So I'm adapting my design from what I'd originally thought, but that's kind of cool. So we've got a large gate. That's what it's called. Let's go to our content drawer inside of BP Sweeper, go to all and search for large_gate. And I want the one without the force field. So that would be, it looks like it's made up of two meshes actually. So we've got the gate large and then the gate frame. So let's drag both of these into the scene, and that constructs our gate rather nicely. Now, I think I'd like to make these a little bit wider. So I'm going to use the scale tool and just extend them a little bit along the x-axis. And I'm going to save that. Then I'm going to look at our sweeper. We're going to not have it move, so set its platform velocity to 0, but set its rotation. This time I'm going to go in the opposite direction at about -100, so it's going to be a little bit faster and a little bit more challenging because we're later on in the level. And then we're going to try and navigate back to our island. So I'm going to click on it and click go here. And then on top, we can start placing down these sweepers. So clear my filter and start getting some sweepers and sticking them on the island, and we can rotate them a little bit so that they are all at different offsets from each other. Duplicate them with Alt a little bit here. Like I say, I'm rotating some of them to everything start slightly differently. Let's click play from here in the safe zone of our previous platform, and then come up and have a look at what these sweepers look like. So yeah, it looks like they could definitely be pushing us if we don't watch ourselves, and we might fall off the platform if we're not careful. So we have to be a little bit careful or we're going to fall to our death. So it looks like a fun little puzzle with these sweepers. And now all we have to do is put a little end zone in. For this, I'm basically going to copy this little courtyard area that they've created here in the standard kit. So I'm going to select the stairs, and well, there's quite a few things here that I want to select. Let's see if they've grouped them together in the outliner first of all. So it looks like there is a folder called Castle, so maybe we can select everything that is under that folder. So we can right click it and select all descendants. So what I'm going to do is actually use it in place and just move that island up to be at the foot of the island that we have just traversed here. So now it should be possible to play from here. Let's go inside one of the pushers and then try and escape. There we go. We can get up to the Victory Island. And once we've got to the castle, that can be the goal of the entire game. So one thing it looks like I messed up by moving that island is it seems that I've moved the ramp that was under the same folder in the outliner. So the ramp between our rotating platforms and our rotating pushers has been moved. So I've just positioned that back. And if we zoom out, we can take a look at the entirety of our level from our start over here, moving platforms, pushers, rotators, and sweepers all the way to the little victory end zone. So I'm pretty happy that that's a fun level, and obviously you should give it to other people to play test and tweak your ideas and maybe implement a few different level designs. But for now, I'm quite happy with that, and I'll see you in the next lecture.